as he usually is.
Brown drives, scoop layup off the glass.
It's not the first time we've seen a superstar in green and white sacrifice the body.
Kornet knocked away.
Wayne Spooney here for First to the Floor, and I'm here with my man, the man with the mistress, the man with the down coat on like he's Cameron, Jake Eisenberg. What's up, buddy? Cold down there in Australia, huh?
Yeah, mate, it's chilly in Tassie. Granted, it is warm. I just grabbed it. We're good to go. As I get closer and closer to being washed, I've recently started a hip opening and mobility program to help with upper back tightness. So yeah, it's off season time. I'm hoping Rob is on the same program.
Yeah, that's right, man. You'll be ready to go when the season starts. Yeah. Okay, before we jump into it, we are running I would say a promotion, I guess you want to call it, a desperate prayer for 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, but it is the 5-star Walshy promotion. So you can enter in to win a jersey of Walshy, not Jordan Walsh. It will say Walshy. And the way you enter is you leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and you have to write a review. We'll be reading the best reviews on the show each week or month, and either drop your Twitter handle in the review or screenshot it and tag us, Instagram, whatever. Get it to us somehow, and we will pick one winner out of a hat, and we will send you wherever you are in the world, as Ben said, from Greenland to Antarctica. You will get a Walshy jersey. So, Jake, you get the burner accounts out. You want this Walshy jersey?
I'll definitely be creating a couple burner accounts to get the Walshy jersey. That's for sure. Yeah, Aussie Field, beautiful day down in the Gong, beautiful part of the world, mate. Good to see some regulars in the chat here. I'm excited.
Hell yeah, man. Absolutely. It's good to be back. I feel like we haven't been on together in a while, Jake, So I'm looking forward to a 3.5-hour podcast here.
Always, of course. I was very happy to see you and Ben got together and did it almost an hour as well with it.
We did.
Me, so I'm glad.
25 minutes in, I'm thinking like, oh, this is going to wrap up in 40. No, never happens. But anyway, okay, before we jump into kind of the main part of this podcast, which is Ben and I did what are we most worried about for each player last show. Now we're going to do the fun stuff, what we're most excited for. But we had a little bit of news. The NBA Board of Governors passed a new rule for this season, which is kind of crazy considering it starts in like a month. But essentially, teams cannot rest more than one star player in the same game. And a star player is defined as anyone who's made an all-star game in the last 3 years, which is a pretty big pool of players. I mean, that's a massive pool. But Jake, what are your thoughts on this new rule? How much do you think it's going to matter?
I don't think it's going to matter. It's not going to impact the Celtics really at all, right? Like, of our 2 all-stars, neither of them rest really unless they're actually injured. I saw us like 75% of players played, like 212 players played like 75% of the games last year. Like, I don't think rest is really that big of an issue outside of like a handful of guys. Like, it's the Clippers, it's LeBron. Like, most of the star players play, I feel like. Like, Durant was injured a lot. Giannis plays when he plays. Jokic plays every game.
Luka plays.
Embiid even played 65 games last year. Like,
yeah.
I don't actually think this is a big deal. Interestingly, I've been of the belief that the season's too long. Like 82 games is just an absurd amount of games to play. Like anytime I'm talking to someone who isn't into the NBA and they're like, don't they play like a million games? I'm like, yeah, they play 82 games, like 4 games a week, 3 games a week. They're like, that's crazy. Like the NBL plays like 30. And I tweeted that and I got like some emotional pushback. People are like, that's not backed up in science. And I'm like,
wow.
I'm not a scientist, obviously, but like 82 games plus playoffs is not good for the human body. Someone said professional sports is bad for the human body. Well, I guess less professional sports then would be better for the human body than more. It seems obvious to me that like 82 is so many games.
Yeah, and I think back like the rule as far as
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
concerned, like no, it's all good. If the Clippers want to rest Kawhi Leonard, they're just gonna say he's hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can game this so much, so I really don't see how this is gonna. It's just gonna make things even more convoluted than it already is. But yeah, I'm with you. And kind of where the NFL and English soccer really hits is that there's fewer games. So
Yeah.
each game individually is more important. And like, look, we openly talk about how the Celtics are like not trying for, a week at a time sometimes. And, if you're only playing 65, 70, I'm the other side is like, I want more basketball
I know,
to watch.
that's
You know what I mean? So that's the flip side. So I go back and forth on it, but ultimately I think there's positives and negatives to both.
Would we even notice if it was 65 games? Like, there's so many games. Like, there would still
70,
be...
72 feels good.
Yeah.
10 less games. You basically don't have back-to-backs in that case. I feel like, and then, 10 less games, like probably not really.
Yeah,
But-
I don't know. Well,
Anyway, all right,
I don't see this really mattering at all. Like,
Yeah.
especially for Celtics fans.
Yeah. Thank you, NBA Board of Governors, for, I guess, a little bit of news on a slow news day. But let's
Yeah,
get to the
very.
fun stuff. The one thing Jake and I are most excited about for each player. So, Jake, I'm just going to throw these to
Yeah.
you, and then if mine's the same, I'll piggyback on it. If not, we'll talk about that. But we're going to go same order Ben and I just went for the last episode. So, the most important player on the roster,
Yeah.
Svi Mihailuk. What are you most excited for Svi?
Okay, so I think technically there will be something that crosses over with yours here. But for Svi to be good at basketball,
Okay. I'm
know it's-
close to that.
I know it seems silly, but I think from like watching some film, reading some articles, listening to some smart people, I think he actually has the ability to make competent decisions, hit open threes, make the easy read, make a good pass, run some secondary pick and roll. I think for us to be pleasantly surprised that he can like competently dribble, pass, and shoot. And in this Celtics context, it doesn't take a lot for you to be valuable. Like Blake Griffin, I thought played really well last year because he consistently just makes the right decision. As long as you're making the right decision on this Celtics team, it's really easy to look really good.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited for C to just be good and use his brain.
Okay, we're basically on the same page here. I just like narrowed it down a little bit. Like he averaged 10.6, 2.5, 2.7 with, as my guy Z Gamer, shout out Z Gamer. We appreciate you reaching out to us and commenting and everything. Likes to remind me, pretty decent defense too for the Hornets. Like he did play pretty decent defense for Charlotte. And his shooting splits were good. They were fine. 45% from the floor and like 42% from three in 19 games, which isn't like a small number of games. So it's like, if that's real, which is basically to your point, if he's good at basketball, this is like an absolute home run. And like the most recent action we saw of Svi playing NBA basketball, he was pretty damn good. So like that's pretty exciting for a minimum guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in my mind he's the 14th man just because he signed in the 14th chronologically.
Right.
But
right.
like he could easily be the 10th or 11th guy to me.
Definitely.
Like, and O'Shea maybe ends up being the 14th or Banton or whoever.
Banton. I think my money's on Banton.
I think it could be Banton. And which the next person we have is Banton.
Yeah, go for it.
Who I have. So I have Tall.
Dude, I have almost the same thing. I kid you not. Go for it.
So it's really cool when your point guard can be tall. Like,
Hold on. I have big playmakers are fun. That's what I have written down.
yeah, like it's like I know you guys covered 2K last time, but like it's so impactful when your point guard is like 6'7", 6'8",
Yeah.
6'9". Like you can defend multiple positions, you can overpower smaller players, and that obviously translates in real life. Like that's why Ben Simmons was like, the golden boy for so long, because it's like he can be your point guard at 6'8", 6'9",
Yeah.
and it just instantly creates mismatches. Like the better version of this is Josh Giddey, who's a legitimate 6'8", actually is a point guard, and watching him in the World Cup just dominate smaller players because he just always has a mismatch and creates mismatches all over the floor is really, really valuable. But the problem is, yes, Dave D, I have a feeling, unlike Svi Mihailuk, I'm not sure he's good at NBA basketball.
Yeah. I wonder if he can play like a similar role to what White did right when he first got here, where it was just like always keep the ball moving, make the right pass. And like, I think when we'll see him shine is on the break. Like, I really think out in transition, like with his passing and his size, and he's fast, like in a straight line. I think he'll be able, like, he'll have a few highlight alley oops to like Rob Williams or something, and there'll be some people who think he's better than he is. But anyway, he'll be kind of fun. But much more exciting, this next guy, Walshy, baby. What are you excited to see for Walshy?
Mine is Marcus Smart energy. I think there's definitely a lack of like, who's the guy that's going to dive into the stands? Who's the guy that's going to do some over the top defensive play? There's going to be a moment late in the season on a back-to-back. Some guys are going to be resting. We're going to have the 1 seed locked up, obviously. We're going to be cruising to the playoffs. Walshy's going to dive on the floor, get a loose ball, pop up and out like a pass to someone who from the ground who runs, probably Oshae Brissett, pops up a pass to Oshae Brissett, who's going to run the fast break, and he's going to miss the layup. But while she's going to be following Brissett, he's going to have popped up. Hopefully it's a kip up. Like Marcus Smart. He's going to be following Oshae. He's going to miss the layup, and Walsh is going to follow for a monster putback slam and just time out Houston Rockets. And and
it's 100 to 75 or something.
Exactly. And Walsh is just going to be screaming into the crowd. He's going to be high-fiving the people sitting courtside. And it's just going to be like, the Marcus Smart lives on in this moment.
Yes. And I truly think like if Walsh brings nothing, he will bring energy. And that alone, when you're 6'7" with a 7'2" wingspan, just being super energetic can have some value. So mine's fairly close, and actually Z Gamer hit exactly what I was going to say. And that is, mine's a little broader, like seeing the defense translate. Because I just think with his tools, he's going to foul too much. He's going to be a little over aggressive. He's going to get lost at times. But there's also going to be times where he's just unleashed on somebody's like big wing ball handler, and he's going to absolutely lock him up for like 3 straight possessions. And it's going to be part technique, and it's going to be part what you were saying, just like that absolute Marcus Smart tenacity. The Garden's going to go crazy. So I think of any of these deep bench guys, I'm probably most excited to see Jordan Walsh. And it's not really close, partially because he's got all these crazy tools. Like, he was highly recruited out of high school, too. 6th man of the year, Walsh. Yeah, maybe a little premature. Maybe a little, but...
why do you think we've called it 5-star Walshy?
That's right.
Because he was a 5-star coming out of high school.
That's right. You know, and he's like essentially 19 still, almost. And I would still be selling myself on him even if he didn't have a great summer league. But like, he couldn't have showed us more in summer. I mean, that was like about as good as it was going to get for an offensively raw guy. So extremely excited for Jordan Walsh in just about every way.
I mean, every second of Jordan Walsh activity is going to be like must-see TV for Celtics fans. I feel like last season, there's just a different feeling you get when you've drafted a guy and you just have hope. Like, you have I have no idea what this could be, and I'm someone who's always going to be like, I believe that it's going to succeed. They're going to turn into something until it doesn't. And you know, whether it was Neesmith or Romeo or, you know, Grant, Carson Edwards, Tremont Waters, like, there's just a different feeling you get when you're watching a guy that hasn't had the NBA stuff and it could turn into something. So every second while she's out there, especially when you add in the fact that he did have that awesome summer league, like whether it was like the secondary playmaking, like we don't, like he's probably, you know, to him or Jalen, potentially Rob, depending on how, how much of that explosion he's able to get back. But Walsh is probably like the most athletic person on this roster right now. And then you add like the length, like he has the ability to get on the break, get some of these steals and just explode for alley-oop dunks and stuff. But yeah, I can just picture it now. It's going to be Jordan Clarkson like on the road, and he's not going to have read the scouting report on Jordan Walsh. Like he doesn't get past like the 8th or 9th guy on the scouting report, and he's gonna be like, I don't know who this person is. I'm gonna try and take them one-on-one, and there's gonna be like someone like that Walsh just completely swallows up, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, oh, dude, it's gonna be fan. There's a lot of guys on that Jazz team. Colin Sexton, him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great call.
Is Chris Dunn still playing out there? I don't know.
Man, Chris Dunn cooked us last year. Jeez.
Dude, yeah, it was ridiculous. I think he signed somewhere else, but I wouldn't mind him for the 15th spot, dude.
Well, we had him very briefly. I remember going into that
That's right. Yeah.
21-22 season, and
immediately got traded. I can't remember for who. Was it for Tice? Was it in the Tice deal? I don't know. No, because that was mid-season. So no. Yeah, anyway, it's not important. Yeah. He was great last year, Chris Dunn. So shout out Chris Dunn. All right, next, another guy, probably sort of similar idea as far as role on the roster, but I'm just less excited for this guy. But he's maybe a better player right now. Oshae Brissett.
Oshae Brissett. Yeah, look, I initially was excited about Brissett when I dove in. Definitely feels like that's who people are billing as the person who's going to be the guy listening to you guys last episode about he's probably going to be the guy that we're frustrated with. That being said, when I went back and watched a lot of Brissett film, what he seemed to be really good at was just cutting, moving off the ball, and specifically cutting when someone drives and they get a little bit held up, help comes, and he is just cutting through the middle of the lane, and it's an easy late dump off for a dunk or a layup. Just being a solid outlet for Jason Tatum when he maybe gets trapped deep in the paint or somewhere like that, and it's just an easy outlet. You're in the right spot, and he's just able to create easy outlets for Jalen and Jason. I think that's valuable, and we can be yes. Not a turnover.
Good job.
Right? And we need those possessions.
So yeah, and look, he's shot it fine at times in the NBA. So if you combine that, I do think he gets more credit than he should for his athleticism because he's not super athletic, but he's almost kind of understands the game a little better than maybe he gets credit for. And I think that goes to the cutting and the off-ball movement stuff. So mine was basically what you had for Jordan Walsh. Say what you want about Brissett. That dude plays really hard, and he is going to give it 100% all the time. I think sometimes it's going to be sort of Neesmithitis where it kind of gets him out of position or hurts himself or something. But he will get in there. He will fight for rebounds. He'll dive on the floor. He will take charges. He will hard foul. So, I think we've adequately lowered our expectations for Brissett, that if he's just kind of a decent 9th, 10th man, that's all we need out of him. Those guys are always going to be up and down because if they were better, they wouldn't be the 10th man, right? So as far as 10th men go, he's probably as good as you're going to get, really. I mean,
yeah, and with Brissett, I do think, losing Grant, people are a little concerned defensively. Obviously, losing Marcus, you have concerns defensively. But again, I've kind of been the guy that was Grant definitely did not have his best defensive season last year. So for Brissett to kind of fit and meet the expectations of what Grant met last year defensively, I think Brissett has the ability to guard some bigger guys. He's 6'7", 6'8", strong. He's got some girth to him. Maybe not quite as girthy as Grant, but he's taller than Grant. He's going to be a better rebounder than Grant. So I do think defensively that he can really, for the most part, match what Grant gave you specifically last season.
Yeah.
Not what Grant gave you the year previous where he was really good in the playoffs. But last year, I do think Brissett on a team where the Celtics were the second best defense in the regular season, I do think he's totally good enough to help the Celtics reach, top 3 on defense again just by filling those minutes.
Yeah, and look, he's never really played on a good team, too. He was fine for Indy. He was actually pretty good for Indy 2 years ago, and then last year they got better and he played a little worse, but he's going to have the most wide open shots of his entire career next year, so maybe he can gain a little confidence in that way, too.
Well, I think with Brissett as well, people forget that, so they had the 6th pick, I think, or 7th pick in the draft. Halliburton missed half the season, and when Halliburton played, that's when Brissett, from what I saw, he fit well because he understands the game, he knows where to be, and so when you're playing in a better context, that's where someone who maybe doesn't have the tools to raise the overall quality of the team, is actually going to fit a lot better on a team like the Celtics, where he doesn't have to do a lot. Like you don't like your role players are asked to do so much less when your team is really good. When your team is really good, the role players' jobs become really easy, and so I think that's where he could find success.
Yeah, I'd like to see Joe do a little better job of defining specific roles for guys, because last year sort of seemed like you saw it with Grant. He's like trying to take people off the dribble and stuff, and it's like, whoa. And I don't know how much that is Grant gunning for a contract, but you got to coach that out of him. Yeah. I'm sorry. But regardless, negativity aside, let's move on to our next guy, a beloved figure here on the First to the Floor podcast, Luke Kornet.
The Cornish game hand. He makes a return. For Kornet, I just have vibes. I think with Blake going out the door, we had the Kornet hosting the talk show last season. We know hosting Blake and hosting Hauser. The Cornish game hand, the celebrations, the Stromile Swift. The bird celebrations. Like, preferably, we don't see a lot of Kornet out there this season, considering we have Porzingis, Rob, and Al. I don't have a lot to be excited about with Kornet, but the vibes are important. The Boss One boys fill a very important role on this team, and he's going to need to be the leader of that Bus One, because Hauser might be on a different bus next season. So
Hauser's got to roll, man. Hauser's got to roll. But okay, I'm going to go out on a limb with Luke.
Okay.
Luke made the most threes in NCAA history for a center in his career. And he's flashed it here and there. He shot it pretty decent when he first got into the league. He seems to have lost confidence in his three completely. I'm going to say, I'm staking my flag. This is the year Luke Kornet shoots threes decent again. It's coming back. 3-point Luke. Let's do it. So I want to see Luke fire. I mean, I don't want him shooting 7 a game, but, throw up like 1 a game. Why not? He's going to be wide open.
He's going to be wide open. Now, I'm not sure I can agree with you here, Spoonie, because would you agree that maybe when he came to the Celtics, he's played his best basketball in his career? His most impactful?
Definitely.
Has that potentially coincided with him cutting out the idea that he's a 3-point shooter?
This is a very good argument that I do not have a counter to.
I honestly, if he's gonna take him and make him, shoot away. Maybe he got with Derrick White shooting coach, and he's able to knock down some threes. Yeah, look, I'm with you, Luke Kornet. It's 3 season.
Yeah, just like 1 a game. 1 a game. When you play, like not in garbage time.
I was gonna say, and some people's 3-pointers are like they equal more than other people's 3-pointers when they make them. Like Kornet makes a 3, the crowd reaction. Like you can almost bake in, like if you're going to shoot 34%, it's actually a 38% shooter because of the impact it has on the energy of the building. So yeah, I'll allow it. I'll allow it just from the crowd boost that it gives you.
There we go. And like if say he makes 2, the defense is going to be like, damn it, we got to guard Luke Kornet out there tonight. Yeah, like, okay, fine. And that opens up everything. So again, told you I was going out on a limb there, but it's in there somewhere, Lukey. Real quick. VYOM says his unique contesting against shots. I think we are team dislike the eclipse or the Kornet eclipse or whatever it's called. Eclipse. Teams figured it out and they just started. He's out of position for rebounds. Like I think Jake, you're with me. We're not fans, right?
Yeah, I was pretty early to hop off the eclipse bandwagon. As soon as like teams started firstly making their shots, and then being out of he's not the best rebounder anyway. Like when he was playing for Rob, the amount of times I came on here and be like, I really appreciate his effort, but he's just not Rob. And then Rob came back and I was like, wow, Rob is not Luke Kornet. So like when you're already not the best rebounder, please just get in position to rebound.
I know, God. You're 7'2", dude. All right, moving on from Luke. We love you, Luke. I'm excited for another year of 10 decent games a season from Luke. So Sam Hauser, I think we're all pretty excited in general for Hauser next year. He came on strong last year, like went from an undrafted free agent to a solid role on a, championship contender team. So what do you got for Sam?
Offensive firepower. I think that he is just going to bring an element to this offense that is going to be a bit of a game changer. Like Sam Hauser, it has at this point, Sam Hauser's shooting resume is getting a little bit out of control. I went back and had a look because like one of my favorite things to do is go back and look at Sam Hauser's shooting resume. Going back to college, across a 4-year college career, he shot 44% from 3. And that was on 704 attempts.
Yeah.
That's like almost double the attempts he's had in the NBA so far. In the 17-18 season of college, when he's sophomore, on 5.6 attempts per game, he shot 49% from 3. Like, these are just face-melting numbers. So last season, and so this is the difference between Grant and Hauser. I've brought this up before. Per 36 minutes, Hauser shot 12.8 threes on 42%.
That's insane, dude.
Which is just so many threes. And Grant shot 5.1% on 40%. But how many times did Grant try and pump fake out of a 3? And what Hauser's really good at, people close out on Hauser hard. He'll hit you with a pump fake, step to the left, wide open, bang. Like his offensive weaponry, his firepower is just a completely different level to what Grant Williams gives you. I'm really excited to see what Sam Hauser brings to this offense. We're gonna get national pods about like Sam Hauser.
Sam
Whoa.
Hauser, yeah.
Simmons
will do it first, though, I'm sure.
Yes. Who Simmons didn't protect in his like expansion draft thing over Jordan Walsh. Who I love Jordan Walsh, but anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we've already seen Hauser do it and be a good role player. Like that's what we're hoping Walsh. Anyway, regardless, mine's pretty close. Just more confidence offensively and not necessarily from 3, where I think he's very confident, but he finished at 80% at the rim last year. And it's mostly because it was uncontested, but like sometimes I want to see Sam put it on the deck, take a pull-up mid-range shot, man. Like he can make those. He's money from the line. Like I'm not saying build the offense around Sam Hauser, but like just diversify the offensive skill set a little bit. I want to see him try and maybe make some passes after like a pump and drive, see what that looks like. Not because, again, like I think it's going to be immediately effective, but like he's still like 24, 25. Like he's got room to grow as an NBA player, and that foundation of being an elite shooter just opens things up for you so much. So just try some stuff every now and again, Sam. Like get out there, see if you can finish over somebody. Like, maybe you'll get fouled. Like maybe you'll get swatted. That's okay. It's fine. Like it's fine.
Yeah, I think there'll definitely be a couple of spots here and there, but yeah, I think so age for some players can mean one thing for one player and something for another. Like Sam Hauser, 24, 25. But yeah, what has his opportunity really been, right? Like last season was his real first opportunity to get real minutes, and he filled his role perfectly. I think Grant could have taken a leaf out of Hauser's book. Like I thought Hauser came in and knew exactly what his role was. Fire every semblance of an open 3. Every single time you have a sliver of space, fire. And now, comfortable. He's on the scouting report. I 100% agree. Let's get a little spicy, Sam. Let's a little pump fake. Yeah, the mid-range pull-up. I agree. I know you've written some pieces about maybe not going all the way to the rim because that could be a little bit unsuccessful.
Shaky.
Look, my vertical after this hip opening program, it's coming back. But right now, I think me and Sam Hauser might have a similar vertical. At the rim, I think he's going to struggle just a little bit. But yeah, the pump and dump Hauser. Yeah, Landon's on it. Pump it and dump it. A little pull ups. Let's Duncan Robinson. Let's get some screen actions for Hauser going. Why not?
Yeah, and look, he finished at 80% at the rim last year, which is an absurdly elite number. It's because he only took layups when there was literally no one around him. Like you just got to push yourself. I'd like to see that number almost come down to like high 60s because he's taken a lot more of them. But all right, enough on Sam, who I think we're all super high on. I think he's going to have a big year. I think he's pretty nailed on for kind of that 8th man role. Peyton Pritchard. I think a dude who's got opportunity sitting there for him that he needs to grasp after, asking for a trade, which is kind of insane, but he's still here. They traded a big minute guard, so there's guard minutes. What do you got on Peyton?
Yeah, I think for Peyton, for me, it's about regaining his place on the team, regaining his place in the NBA, in the league. He got lost last year. He didn't have a role, and I've been someone who's been pretty confident that Peyton Pritchard has a role in the NBA as someone in a 10-man rotation on a good team. Whether that's 10, 12, 14, 16 minutes, and I think he's going to have that opportunity. So I'm just excited for him to get that chance, to prove to the rest of the league that he belongs in the NBA, that Game 2 against Brooklyn was real, that he can be part of a 17-point comeback at home in the first round of the playoffs. I think he has the ability to hang in the NBA, and I'm excited for him to get that chance.
Yeah. So I have kind of a two-part thing. One, back in the rotation, what you just said.
You're always
I know. I know. I'm looking on your paper, dude. Hopefully Ben, the teacher, doesn't see me, but back in the rotation, clearly defined role. And if there's one thing I love, and I know I'm kind of not alone here, but I think there's a lot of Celtics fans who don't love Tatum sort of playing point forward. Mm-hmm. I love it when he's running the bench unit and doing that. And Pritchard is the absolute perfect guard to do that with because he is such a ridiculously elite shooter. Pritchard, Z-Gamer, deep threes off Tatum, pick and pop. I just wrote about that for Celtics blog. If you're bored, go check that out. So I think playing on those bench units with Tatum, their net rating 2 years ago was plus 18 when they shared the court together, which is absolutely absurd. So defined role where he just knows what he needs to do, what's expected of him. And, he's scrappy on defense, man. He can lock up a bench guard. He can play well. And I think it's going to be really good for him that we're going to be playing way less switch heavy scheme this season where he's going to have those shot blockers behind him and he can really get up into guys and play physical and not have to worry about getting blown by or having to switch onto a center and box him out.
Yes. Yeah. Pick up points. How many times has Peyton Pritchard just come into games, picking up guys full court and pressuring guys, from the halfway line? How many times has Scal on the broadcast been pick up points, pick up points, pick up points? Yeah. And sometimes all it takes is one guy to get one steal, one deflection, get out in transition from doing that to spark the defense. The 82 game season, there's going to be some malaise. And I think last year the team, it's crazy to even criticize a team that wins 57 games too much, but we saw it.
It was there. Yeah.
And this that's the thing about this team is they are so good that they're going to win 57 games, but this team has done it for years. And having a guy like that's going to come in and spark the team, I think has value. Yeah, I'm excited. You and me have been peppering the Twitter timeline with Peyton Pritchard propaganda
we have.
For the past week or two. Yeah, I put together a video of just Pritchard. Purely Tatum to Pritchard assists. And there are so many from that 21-22 season where they went on that run. A lot of them coming from those pick and pops. Tatum likes playing with Pritchard. It feels like he really trusts Pritchard's shooting. There are just some moments where there was an Atlanta game where Pritchard just inbounds pass, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, buzzer beater, to go into half court, knocks it down, and Tatum just grabs his head, little brother, nuzzles him. I think Tatum really appreciates how hard Pritchard works and appreciates it. He doesn't have the same tools as Tatum has. I think that there's something to that combination, and I'm excited to see more of it. Yeah, Tatum, and sneaky boards, as well.
Yeah, and I think Tatum really respects Pritchard, works as hard as anybody, and he's just a baller. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's hashtag analysis stuff, but he's just a hooper, dude. He plays nonstop till his hands bleed, and Tatum loves that shit.
He's the pro-am, the ball don't stop record holder for most points, which is the pure hoopers of pure hoopers pro-am. He's got the record. So
hang the banner, baby. All right, before we move on to our next player, we've got a quick message from our sponsor.
New FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV.
Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use, and you can be on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Jake, do you have a bet for us? I know I did not ask you before.
Yeah,
all right, awesome. Thank you. You're a pro, baby.
I actually had to go through because so my fiance asked me if I could just stop gambling from the end of the NBA season to the beginning of the NFL season. Like that's like our annual rule now, 3 years in a row. And I'm like, yeah, easy, no worries. There's way less sport on. And it's actually good. But then I get so excited when the season starts again. And so like I've placed probably like 20 to 25 bets over the past like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so, but I made a spreadsheet. So I'm calculating how much I'm betting and losing. I lost like $1.50 over like 25 bets. So just so everybody knows, I'm not an amazing gambler, but I also, when I wrote it all down, realized I made a lot of dumb bets. So, week 1, we're getting better. My favorite bet, Giants minus 4.5 against the Cardinals. If you watch the Giants get absolutely murdered by the Cowboys, 40-0, I think there's going to be like, okay, we're going to throw that one away. We're going to rebound against what's supposed to be like the worst team in the league. They're going to come out and like play well. People were high on the Giants going into week 1. The Cowboys just like, once they got rolling, once you get ahead with that defense, there's nothing you can do to stop it really. So I think the Giants come out against one of the worst teams in the league and just like win by a couple touchdowns. So there you go.
Love that one. I gave out Bills -2 against the Jets last show, and I thought I was a genius when Aaron Rodgers went down. And wow, did I look dumb because I went to bed at halftime and woke up to see the Bills had lost in overtime. So that was really cool. Yeah. But yeah, no, I love it, Jake. I think you're right. Daboll's a great coach. Like, he'll have them ready to play. Week 1, dude, when we look back, like the Bengals lost week 1 last year and week 2 last year, and then ended like 14-4 or 3 or whatever. It's some 13-4. Week 1, weird stuff happens. So I throw out all the week 1 results. The Giants are going to be a solid team, and the Cardinals stink really bad. Oh, yeah. So I love that bet.
And I'm in the chat here. Patriots didn't mind what
defense
I saw.
Looked great.
Didn't mind what I saw.
Mac looked fine.
Just like don't do the 2 turnovers in the first 2 possessions thing, and who knows what happens in that game.
Yeah, Mac looked. Hey, a real offensive coordinator helps. Who would have guessed, huh? Imagine that.
Hey, I might be starting Mac Jones in my Superflex league this week. So there you go.
Nice, love it. It's gonna be high scoring, dude. Miami can't stop anybody anyway. So, all right, back to something I know much better than football, although I do enjoy it quite a bit. Now we're getting into the real, these guys are going to play big minutes in the NBA Finals group of players here. So when we inevitably win the NBA Finals, they will be a big part of it. Al Horford, what do you got?
I actually found this one kind of tricky. Like, I was like, what is the one Al Horford thing that I'm like really excited for?
Mine's dumb. I'll just say mine is stupid. So go ahead.
Yeah, good. Well, this is welcome to the show. And I think I landed on the most Al Horford thing that came to mind, and it was consistency.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Consistency. I'm excited for positional defense. I'm excited for him to be in the right place. I'm excited for him to knock down open threes. I'm excited for him to make the right play every single time. I'm excited for Al Horford to be Al Horford. That's really
love it.
Like, it was so, it's kind of simple to me. I don't know. And that's why we love Al. He's just rock solid every year.
The perfect human being in just about every way. So Like I said, mine is kind of dumb because it's sort of counterintuitive. What I'm most excited about is that we'll see less of Al Horford next year. I want Al Horford to play less. I want him to play less because we don't need him, because we have front court depth and we can rest him and make sure he's 100% ready to go for the playoffs. I mean, Al was fine. He was amazing in the Sixers series, but like he had just kind of lost his legs on the jump shot. You could tell he couldn't get anything to go, and it was because he had played a huge minute load all season, and then he's going to war with Embiid for 7 games, which he did incredibly well. But like he just seemed like he was sort of running out of gas by the end of that Heat series, and really most of the Heat series. So like I want Al to play like 18 minutes a game.
Whoa.
And then when I mean, it's not going to happen.
No chance.
But if we could get 25 and he only plays 65 games and we win 58, 59, like that is ideal to me. Make sure I see less of Al in the regular season so I can see more of him in the playoffs. And I think we're finally built to where that's possible. But yeah, Al in the best way is kind of a boring one for this because we know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, okay, I have a question for you then. Okay, so
Sure.
Firstly, just looking at Al Horford's basketball reference, this dude is like the definition of an Iron Man. He's had one season outside of OKC where he hasn't, maybe 2 seasons, but so he's played 32,519 minutes regular season and then 5,700 playoff minutes. So almost 40,000 minutes. Last season, he played 1,922 minutes. He played 30 minutes a game last year. That's too many, right? So I think...
Yeah.
I'm with you there. I would like to see less of Al Horford as well. I think 18 is... I don't even want to see 18. I don't want to see 18.
Okay, fair.
I think 24 is the number where...
Okay.
You're Rob and Al are playing 24 each, and then Porzingis is in like the 26 to 28 range. That's what I would like to see. 30 is way too many for Al, dude. I know he's not. And
he's 37.
Yeah,
he's 37.
Like he played 30. He played 63 games last year, so that was all pretty much the back to backs. Maybe he missed I don't know. He probably had COVID last year because he always has COVID. I 100%. Get out of like 60 to 63 games, but 24 minutes. 30 minutes is too many. Like it's absolutely no reason for us to be pushing Al Horford at this point in where the Celtics are when we've got the depth that we do. And yeah, we don't need to push for 60 wins. We don't need to push for the 1 seed. It's just not worth it.
And despite our best efforts, like he's still not really replaced. Like he kind of is with Porzingis, but like I trust Al on Embiid and I trust him on Giannis. I don't know if I trust Porzingis on those guys. So like Al is still super, super important to this team. So we need him for the playoffs. But.
Yeah. The Embiid defense is one of those things where I don't think it's going to go away soon. Just because like the way that Embiid plays. Like whereas, the decline of Horford was his ability to switch onto everybody.
Yep.
And the fact that he was able to do it the year before, I still don't even know how he was.
OKC, man, the back to tank. Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe there's something to like everybody wasn't as good in isolation last season. So Al also wasn't as good. But I thought Al in particular, like he wasn't able to. And that's okay. Like he was able to switch onto a lot of guys, but really struggled against the Trae Youngs and stuff of the world, which
Harden, he couldn't do it.
That's okay.
It happens,
Show
he
me
cooks
the big
everybody.
Man. Yeah, exactly. Show me the big man that can switch onto those guys, and there's not a lot of them. So
it's basically like Bam and AD, and that's it. So.
Yeah, and Draymond Green. It's like okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Congrats.
Draymond. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and Al was one of those guys the year before, which is pretty incredible. So anyway, all right, moving on. We love Al. Malcolm Brogdon. What do you got?
We do love Al, absolutely. Okay. Bench piece cheat code nights. This is what I'm most excited for. And I think it's, the pendulum has definitely swung too far on Brogdon, I think. And part of that's because if he got injured at the worst possible time, it was going into the conference finals, which is where we needed him maybe more than any other series, was please, Lord, can someone make a shot? And what does Malcolm Brogdon do all season long was an elite shot maker. Like that was like literally his one thing that he did better than anything else that he brought to the table. So I've in particular, the bench piece cheat code nights. So Brogdon had 13 games last season where he shot 63% or better from the floor. Celtics go 13-0 in those games.
Damn.
Yeah. He had 35 games where he shot 50% or better. Celtics go 26-9. That's a 61 win pace. He's really, really freaking good at scoring, just like he was last season. And so to have a guy that comes in and on certain nights just goes nuclear, 63%, 13 times is not nothing. That's a
No,
solid-
dude.
yeah. And to go 13-0, because the Celtics are so hard to deal with without Brogdon. So you bring in Brogdon, who just shreds you for 20 points on whatever 11 shots or whatever it is. Man, that a lot maths went out the window on that one. But yeah, so it's just when he's doing that, the Celtics are impossible to beat. So that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, and especially 60+% as a point guard too. Okay, DeAndre Jordan probably shot whatever, but Brogdon's shooting a ton of threes and he's shooting above 65%. He basically wins you games. So the pick 6, as Ben brings up, to Maxey definitely
so
added or reduced some years on my life, unfortunately. But on Brogdon, specifically in the playoffs, even with that pretty disastrous Miami Heat series that he had because he was injured, we were still 4.3 points per 100 possessions better with Brogdon. So his on-off differential in the playoffs was great. It was bad in the regular season. So that just goes to show he brought it when he needed to in those first 2 series. Then he got hurt, and there's nothing we can really do about that. But so Z Gamer, you are on what I had. I have better chemistry with the stars. I think Brogdon at times, he was so efficient scoring, so I get why it was Malcolm Brogdon time sometimes when he played. But I think this year he'll have to shoulder. Ben and I kind of talked about this. He'll have a bigger playmaking load just because Marcus Smart's not there anymore, so somebody's going to need to pass the ball. So I think he'll look to pass a little bit more, and I think that'll be good for the team on the whole. He draws a lot of attention when he's got the ball, so people are open, and I want to see him find guys a little bit more, and I absolutely think he will. And with Porzingis, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Malcolm Brogdon, what is that, dude? Those guys have all made all-star games recently. That actually, I'm not sure Brogdon was ever an all-star, but he may have been for Indy, right? He got it one year, I think.
I think he was an all-star.
He's all-star level production when he starts it on a team. He's going to average 20 and 6 and 6 or whatever. So that's an absurd offensive lineup, and Brogdon is the point guard in those lineups when Derrick White sits. So excited to see him kind of be a little bit more of a playmaker.
I have one more. I'm excited for him to meet Robert Williams.
Seriously.
Which is obviously picking back off what you just said. I'm excited for them to meet, have some dinner, and to just pass him the ball when he's wide open under the rim, because that's great.
You don't even need to get it that close to him. Just sort of near him.
Just throw it in there, dude.
Yes, that is definitely a huge part of it, dude. Frustrating watching him get soft doubled and not just dump it to Rob for an easy dunk. But hopefully next year we see a little bit more of it. Okay, Robert Williams, what do you got?
Okay, so this has to be the season. I'm health is kind of the obvious one. I do think we didn't quite see the full version of Rob last year. We got close, it felt like, at times. There was a couple of stretches where we're okay, he's back. And he just never really regained how good he was in that previous season. And it makes sense to me that we never got there. To come back from surgery and not have the time that you need to really work on your body and really rehab. And Rob's someone that clearly needs extra work on his body. As someone that's doing the hip mobility program, every day, and is Rob going to commit to it? If this is the season where again we have a big injury, knee, whatever, hips, I don't know, it's going to be really, I think, demoralizing for the Rob Williams kind of arc. But I do believe that this is the season that he can string it together. But aside from that, I'm excited for him to get back to box score anomalies. One of my favorite things about Robert Williams is when you're first player since like Andrei Kirilenko to do like, and I've got a few of them here. So this is all from the 2022 season. Versus the Cavs, 21, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks.
Insane.
Insane. Versus the Sacramento Kings, 13 points, 17 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 blocks, 0 fouls. Versus Phoenix, one of our favorite games, triple-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, 5 blocks. Like, he's just like one of a handful of guys in the league that even can like pull these stats out. Like this blend of, you know, high-level rim protection, but playmaking ability. He gets his hands in passing lanes, like the rebounding, and then obviously like, you know, just basically catching alley-oops and stuff to get him to those point totals. He can pull these stat lines out that just like no one else can really do outside of a couple of guys. And so I'm excited, like Bam. It's like Bam, and he has Bam and Draymond nights. And so like, can we see more of that? Yeah.
Yeah, and like he can switch out on the perimeter when he's feeling healthy. Like he's really good at that when he's at his best. And at times last year he did it, and then other times you could tell he just wasn't 100% and he'd get blown by. So
8 blocks against the Nets that one year. 8 blocks.
Yeah, dude, that was amazing. Yeah. Just swatting Harden threes and Harden looking so confused. Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. So I think Porzingis and Rob will be really interesting on offense. And I want to see Rob be asked to make decisions a little bit more often. Maybe get the ball on the short roll a little bit more often. Maybe like get him in that high post and see if he can go like big to big down to Porzingis. Maybe he even takes a dribble or two and tries to kick it to a corner shooter or something. Like, I just like to see Rob touch the ball a little bit more, because it just felt like last year was a really big step back. Like that one stretch in the 2021 season where he was like really healthy rolling into the playoffs. He was averaging 3.5 assists a game. Like, that's insane, dude, for a center that doesn't dribble. And I thought under Udoka, you still saw it more. And part of that is just he was healthy and playing more. And then last year, he basically didn't have an offensive role. He really didn't have a defined role. So I'd like to see him just like get Rob a little more involved. Give him 2 post-ups a game. Like, just do it. Just like do it, you know? Make him take a mid-range jumper every game.
I feel like we saw it a little bit in the playoffs, right?
We did. We were talking about it.
Yeah, and like it didn't look good at all, but like we all know that Rob has this innate feel for the game of basketball where he clearly has like very little post training, and he gets the ball in a mismatch and it's like off balance, but he flips it up and it goes in. He just has amazing touch, amazing feel for the game, and I could not agree more. Please, can we see what we've got? Like, can we give him the chance? Yeah, similar to Hauser, but I do think that there's something to unlock with Rob with more ball and like with the ball in his hands. Like, where's the handoff game? Where's the handoff game with Jaylen coming off Rob and then cutting, and Rob finds him for easy baskets? Like, Hauser coming off the handoffs. Like, let's use Rob. He has all these skills. Let's use it.
Yeah, and like unlike a lot of bigs in sort of his archetype, he's good at free throws. So you just not like you have to worry about him getting fouled and going 0 for 2 from the line. Like, he shoots like 70%, man. That's just fine. So more Rob Williams, please, more Rob Williams.
Hell yeah.
Okay, next, I almost saved this guy for last just because it's you, Jake, but Derrick White. What do you got? You're not allowed to say everything.
Well, because what I do have written down is just more Derrick White.
Yeah, okay, fair. No, that's fine.
But like, so you guys kind of covered the concern and you kind of had to, the more Derrick White, is that going to be good? Like, we're all pretty confident that more Derrick White is going to be a good thing. So there's that piece of it. Just to see more Derrick White in our lives, I think is going to be a positive influence on just the universe and as a whole. So that's good. But purely more micro, I would go Derrick White blocks and Derrick White floaters. There's just something special about watching Derrick White make floaters, because it just looks so janky, but he's just so good at it. Like, he doesn't really crack anyone off the dribble. He just like uses his body to get to the right, and then kind of half spins back to the left, and then just pops it up and it goes in. So just more Derrick White floaters.
Love it. Yeah, I just like Derrick White on the ball more, making more decisions is going to be a good thing. Like running a little more. He didn't really run a ton of like high pick and roll with him and Tatum. Like we didn't see a ton of that last year. It was usually Smart doing it. So I just want to see unleash Derrick White on the offensive end. Do some interesting stuff with him. I mean, like, don't just let him sit in the corner like he did at times last year. Yeah. Like, you're just not, like, have him cut more. Have him get the ball on the move. Because nobody makes better decisions with the ball on the move on this team than Derrick White does. So, like, just use him more effectively. I guess it kind of is similar to what I was saying with Rob, but I like really in that on-ball role where he's like getting picks, making decisions, finding open shooters, getting to that goofy floater, because it feels like he can get that shot whenever he wants against anybody too. Yeah,
maybe just like more assertiveness. That feels like it's going to be a trend with the Derrick White experience. Like, I think in the Heat series, he kind of let us down with his lack of assertiveness. Like. Mm-hmm. And we saw it in that game 7 where he was being assertive. Like, he can take Max Strus off the dribble. He can take these guys off the dribble where there's so much defensive attention being shaded over to Jaylen and shaded over to Tatum that he's going to have space to work with. And then if he starts cracking the defense and it's going to open up and create those advantages for Jason and Jaylen. So, yeah, more aggressiveness I think is going to be something that we're going to be talking about at times. But again, we saw a big leap in confidence and assertiveness last season from Derrick White, and so I expect to see another leap in that perspective again, so I'm excited.
Yeah, me too, dude. I cannot. God, will the season just start already?
This is a hype episode. Let's go.
Yeah, for real. All right, Kristaps Porzingis.
What did I have here? So yeah, attacking closeouts.
I like this. Okay.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. So. Mm-hmm. Who do you think is the best at attacking closeouts? Al, Rob, Grant, Luke, or Blake? Because those are our bigs from last season.
So I would say if Al was 29, Al Horford without a doubt. But last year's Al was like very bad at it. Rob doesn't get closed out on, so it's difficult for him to ever do that. Jesus. By default, is it Grant?
I actually think it was Blake. I actually thought
Blake's
was fair.
Good. Fair. Yeah, fair.
I think it was a kind of a tie between Blake and Horford. Like, every once in a while, Horford would like summon the power of the 29-year-old and get through there. But that's why I'm excited. Like, how many times do we get a kick out to a big man? And it's going to be Porzingis now, who's like really freaking good at attacking closeouts, whether it's getting all the way to the rim and doing a Euro step, getting to the mid-range for a pull-up. Like, he's really, really, really good at attacking closeouts. And people close out really, really, really hard on Porzingis because he's a freaking sniper. And so I'm excited for that because I think it's going to really open up the offense because then he can also pass out of those closeouts when help comes. He's like, they're easy passes to the corner, to Hauser, to Svi Mikhailiuk. Easy. Let's go. Yeah,
Jaylen. There's just going to be so many weapons. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah, same level. Same level. And the thing about Porzingis, too, is like you have to close out hard and really high. Because, like, you can't just run. Like, Pritchard, you can just kind of run at without jumping to contest the shot. Not KP, dude. He's not even going to see you unless you, like, leap. And that just buys you a lot more time and space to go by guys. But I think this just goes to how incredibly versatile Porzingis is as an offensive player. I have murdering zones. Like, I cannot wait until we play Miami and they go that stupid... That's a hilarious comment from Aussie Phil. You put Rob attacking closeouts in the same sentence. Absolutely hilarious. Yes. But like, I can't wait till we play Miami. They go to their janky ass, like 2-3, 3-2 hybrid zone. And we just plop Porzingis at the foul line and watch him take free throws until they get out of that stupid zone. Like, we've needed it so bad at times. We've had Tatum do that role and look great, but he wants the ball in his hands, so he doesn't really do it that much, and he doesn't fight hard enough for position. KP's 7'3". It's a very easy pass to a 7'3" guy.
So much easier to get it up there.
Yeah. So I just cannot wait for that not to be a problem anymore.
Oh man, I just have visions right now of him jumping and using his 7'1" wingspan to just go get the ball on the entry pass and just turn around and shoot. And please just make it. Because I can just envision it's like he misses like the first 2 jumpers like against the zone, and we're like, oh, why?
Don't switch it up, Joe. Like,
yeah, please. Again. Yeah. No, I'm excited. That's a good call.
All right. Yeah. So Jaylen Brown, what do you got?
Jaylen Brown. I have fire-breathing, hyper-efficient scoring nights. When Jaylen Brown, again, another guy where the pendulum this offseason just have swung way too far. Like, there's a reason he was, second team All-NBA last season. When Jaylen Brown is locked in and he's just making everything, where he goes on these runs where it's just 3-point pull-ups, mid-range, he's attacking in transition, everything's going down. Some of my favorites from last season. All of these happened in the Garden because there's nothing better than a Jaylen Brown, like just fire-breathing scoring sequence. Versus the Pelicans, 41 points on 21 shots. Versus the Mavs in the Garden, 31 points on 18 shots. Home for the Nuggets, all in wins, by the way, 25 points on 15 shots. Like when he's just cooking and he's making everything and no one can stay in front of him, and he's like pump faking and hitting these like MJ-esque fadeaways. And we're getting JB for 3.
Yeah.
Like it's just the best.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So I think it's probably fair to say with Porzingis, JB will not have such a large load offensively, right? Like he'll be able to take some plays off more. So I'm excited to see what we get from Jaylen Brown on the defensive end. Like I feel like locked in Jaylen as a one-on-one defender is an absolute monster when he wants to be. I think we'll be able to see it more next year without him having to sort of like the way Jaylen gets his points it's taxing, right? Like he's bodying people, he's making multiple moves, guys are draped all over him because they like hard foul him when he gets to the rim. So like if he can just give a little more juice on the defensive end because Porzingis takes some pressure off, I think we'll see Jaylen Brown's best defensive season of his career. And I think that'll go a long way to kind of keeping the team playing above average or great basketball when like Tatum's on the bench.
I would love nothing more than for this to be Jaylen Brown's best defensive season of his career. Like he said it. He said it in when he signed the $300 million contract. Like, we got to go back to our defensive identity. We got to hang our hats on that end. Well, guess what, Jaylen? You can lead the way. And let's see you pick up guys at half court and full court. Let's get those pickup points up. Because that's he's always going to struggle, I think, off ball. And that's even when he is locked in. But on ball defense, fighting over screens, recovering, I have memories and visions of Game 6 in Atlanta where he comes over a screen. DeJounte Murray is going to the rim and he just swats the ball into the background and they go back the other way and he hits a 3. Those sequences where he's getting a steal, getting a block and then going down the other end and getting a layup or a dunk or a transition 3. That's what we need, and I think he can. It just isn't that hard for him to have that impact. All it takes, I think, is from day one in training camp for that to be a focus on a day-to-day basis. And it doesn't need to be a crazy shift. I just think a very simple mindset shift where he's just raising his intensity by 5 to 10% on a given night on that end will have a huge impact.
Yeah, and that's a great point about transition. Like, if he's playmaking on defense, that's going to give him more runouts. And that dude is LeBron-level breathtaking out on transition, dude. He's so good at it. So, more defense, more transition, more Jaylen Brown scorching hot nights, right? It all just feeds into it. So
Perfect. Can't wait.
All right, last but not least,
the big dog.
Jason Tatum.
The big dog.
Yes, sir.
All right. I have bully ball Tatum.
Ooh, I like that a lot. Yes.
So he's been increasing his free throw attempts every year pretty much in the league. And so last 3 seasons, 2020, 2021 season, 5.3 attempts. That was 29th in the league. 21-22 season, 6.2 attempts. That was 15th in the league. Last season, 8.4 attempts, 9th in the league. It's just been like chunk, just like pretty much everything in his game besides the 3-point percentage has been improving every single year. And as he gets bigger, as we see these workout videos every single day, I think I calculated that he was deadlifting 3.6 jakes the other day.
That's an exact conversion.
Yeah, exact conversion. Like, that's a strong man. And like, we're gonna keep saying it until he's in his prime, but he has physical levels to go. And Giannis is kind of an outlier example because of, he's the way that he grew up and like being essentially malnourished as he grew up. And so his like body transformation, is kind of an outlier. But Steph Curry, look how much bigger he is at this point in his career. Every year Tatum's going to get bigger and stronger. So I'm just excited for another leap as he gets stronger. Like it was his best year at the rim. Now he's deadlifting. Yeah, Ben in the chat. Now he's deadlifting 500 pounds and pushing 5 jakes on the sleds. Yeah, it's good. Look, I'm happy to be the guy that Tatum's throwing around. And so bully ball Tatum, best year at the rim. I imagine it's going to be another great year at the rim. More Tatum in the post. Just bully ball Tatum.
Dude, we're on the same wavelength. I tweeted out, because I'm writing about this, but I tweeted out a couple videos of Tatum finishing at the rim, and he increased volume and efficiency at the rim the last 3 years running. He was at like 70% almost from less than 5 feet on 7 attempts at the rim and like 7 or 8 free throws. Like, he's approaching like Giannis territory. No, he's not going to be Giannis, but sure. That gets to like 9 and 8 free throws. Like, that's insane. But mine is a little more global, a little more macro. Mm. I still see so much Jason Tatum slander on the internet.
Yeah.
So I want Jason Tatum to put his stamp on the league this year. Like, become undeniable. Like, when you talk about the Stephs, the Jokic's, the Giannis's, force your way to be in that conversation every single time it's brought up. Like, no, gotta add Tatum. Tatum's in that group. If you're tiering players, he's in 1A, period, and there's absolutely zero debate. Put your damn stamp on the league, go win a title, and then you'll, like, I just feel like the monkey, like the weight will come off his shoulders so much that he'll even go up another level with all that, because he clearly is putting a lot of pressure on himself. So stamp on the league. Let's do it. We need some females on the show. Yeah.
I'm with you, man. I couldn't agree more. I do think that there is there's plenty of levels to go to, but I think a controllable one for him is a mentality, bringing it every night, imposing your will. And I think a lot of that comes from, we've spoken about it, cutting out 2 of those bad shots per game. Mm-hmm. And I get it. The 82 game season, there's going to be nights where you're going to settle. And honestly, this is going to come down to the playoffs. Like, he's probably going to be in the top 5 of MVP voting again. Can he get into the last 3 seasons? It's been Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. Can he get into where he's in that top 3, or when it's like a legit 4-person conversation? I think it's very possible that Jokic comes back very much out of shape. I'm pretty sure he's challenging J.R. Smith for the most shirtless championship celebration summer. Like, every video I see of this guy, he's just sloshed, shirtless, or gambling at the racetrack. So I think it's possible that we have a slow start for Jokic. I think the Embiid shine, like, there's going to be like voter fatigue now, where it's like, okay, we're kind of done with the Embiid stuff. Giannis will probably be there, but I think there's a spot for Tatum to like move into like, 2 top 5 MVP finishes in his resume now. To like, no, not just like in the on the resume for top 5 finish, like, can he actually win this thing as we get to like 6 to 8 weeks left in the season? And then when it gets to the playoffs, game 5 against the Hawks, win that game.
Yep.
Win that game.
Great point. Yep.
Game 1 against the Sixers, win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the types of games where I'm like, you just have to win those games, and it's going to be on you. I know you had 39 points in game 1 against the Sixers. Like, it's not always like your fault, but I'm like, Jokic, Giannis, Steph is like, I'm not letting us lose these games. We're going on to the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, 1 and 2 against the Heat, dude. Those were there for the taking too, and like game 1 especially, like he coughed the ball. Like, he just like he cuts those like 3 bad minutes out. And like he's just a different level of player. So
and that's
yeah,
the
it's
thing.
a lot
right
mindset.
There. It's right
dude.
there. And we spoke about it with Alex Hoops. Like he has Tatum right at the top of that next tier. I think it's Jokic, Steph, and Giannis, and then it's Tatum right there in that next group. And yeah, can he get there? And I think he definitely can.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jake. You got anything more? Do you got one more thing you want to?
No. I was going to say to KB in the chat, who letting us know that we do need more females on the show. You are correct, and we will have a female guest, hopefully next week. Caitlin from covering the Pacers is coming on. Caitlin Cooper, I believe.
Oh, Caitlin Cooper, dude, she's big time. She's too big for us. Nice, great, great get, Jake. Hell yeah.
Yeah. She's gracing us with her very smart basketball person.
She's awesome, dude. Yeah.
So we agree, and
I'm very excited, dude. Yeah, I'm just finding out about this. She's on Daniel LaRue's show all the time.
Awesome. Oh, sick. So, yeah, I mean, obviously we got a lot of Pacers Celtics crossover the last couple of seasons. So, so that's going to be really fun.
All right. Awesome. Well, on that super exciting note, I think, Jake, this was super fun, dude. I really enjoyed it. I am so ready for the season to start, but in due time. So, as Ben would say, Jake, love your work. First to the floor, out.